Hi everyone, my name is Zoë Schneider. I'm the artist showing here at the art gallery, or the Estevan Art Gallery and Museum right now. My exhibition is called Otherworldly Abundance, and today we're going to make a recipe called salt dough. It's featured in the exhibition. I've used it to create little alien dwellings. It's a non-toxic, super easy, cheap way to make a hard dough. It's probably encompassing ingredients that you have in your house. And it's fun for kids to play with. You can do all sorts of crafts with it. You can also use it in an art context. And yeah, here we go. So to make salt dough, you've got 3 basic ingredients. That's water, salt, and flour. I like to add color by using Crayola, and it doesn't have to be Crayola, but like non-toxic colorful glue. So this adds like a nice tint to the dough. You don't have to do this, but I like to. So what I do is kind of drop this glue into the water, and this makes it a lot easier to incorporate into the dough later. Otherwise, if you throw it straight into the dough, it just kind of gets little bits of color throughout the dough, which can look cool too. But if you want it to be like uniform in color, you're gonna wanna add it to your water before adding your water to your dough. So just mix that up. And this is like a very fun, messy activity that you can do at home. So mix up your glue and water. Doesn't have to be perfect. Then we're gonna take 2 cups of flour. This is 2 cups pre-measured, so we're good to go. You dump that in there. Then you're going to measure 1 cup of salt. And this container is super handy because it has measurements on the side. And this can be a really good like ratios and mathematical lesson for your kids too, to learn at home. This also doesn't have to be perfect. There's room for error. So that's about 1 cup of salt. You dump that in. I like to mix the 2 together so that it comes together easily in the end. Again, doesn't have to be perfect, but it's a bit easier if you just do it in advance. So once that's combined, you're gonna add 1 cup of water. Okay, and again, this isn't perfect. It's a rough estimate. So you just pour that in. You can use a spoon as well to mix this, but I like to get really hands-on in how I do things, so I just use my hands. And it's gonna be quite soupy, and it takes some kneading to get together. It's a fun, kind of gross activity. Okay, when it gets to this phase, I like to drop it out because it's quite sticky and hard to work in the bowl. Okay, so what we're gonna do is throw down a little flour. Nice hands. There we go. Scrape out all your stuff. Grab your bits of dough that went flying and just start to knead. We can see that it's starting to come together, and we can also slide these out of the way. So I think, since I didn't put enough glue in the beginning to make it colorful, I'm gonna add some more now. This is probably gonna look pretty mottled and spotty, but that's an okay look too. And the reason I worked with salt dough is that it's easy to do at home, and we've all been spending a lot of time at home over the last year. And it's non-toxic, so if I drop a piece on the floor and my dog eats it, it's not the end of the world. And when it dries, it kind of looks like skin, and I really wanted that quality in this work. So let's knead this together. You can see the colors start to come through. And this glue will just wash right off, so don't worry if it's on your countertop. And it's quite a nice sticky dough. So it holds together really well. And you see how these pieces are starting to come off my hand, which is great. So you keep kneading. You get some nice dough action going on. At this point, I usually let it sit for about 20 minutes to just kind of continue to come together. So at this point, we're going to roll this out, or we can start to form little characters. So if you want to do characters, you can just pinch off pieces, roll them. You can start to stick other pieces to them. Like I said, the dough is quite sticky, so it will just hold nicely. But you can also kind of like pinch it in, make sure that there's adhesion happening. Super easy to do. If you want to roll it out, like I did in the exhibition, you just sprinkle out your flour like you were making cookies. Get your dough down, pick up some of that flour, make a little disc, and start to roll it out. And you can really see some of the nice pink bits showing through at this point. Okay, so that's good. So for this exhibition, I put these rolled out pieces onto metal bowls, onto vegetables like pumpkins, basically anything that you can bake in the oven that won't react. So you wouldn't put plastic in the oven, but you can put metal in there, or a vegetable. If you're gonna do that, put down a layer of parchment paper on your metal object, or use some PEM cooking spray. But I'll demo how I did it using this plastic bowl. So I kind of fold back and drape, and then fold forward and start to kind of like press down. At this point, you can, add little things on top and press those in. You can cut doorways, you can cut windows. You can use cookie cutters to cut shapes and give your windows and doorways. You can crimp edges like you would a pierogi or a dumpling or a pie. You can do whatever you want. When you're happy with it, you're going to put it in an oven at 200 degrees for a couple of hours. It really depends on your thickness of dough, so how thick you rolled it or how thin you rolled it, but just keep checking, have an adult check for you. And when it starts to look like it's uniformly dried out, then you're good to go. Pull it out of the oven, let it sit for a while, take it off of its form, and you have an art object. Thank you so much, and have a great day.